listing of Coinbase, the largest cryptocurrency exchange platform in America. So what do we do with this thing? I think Coinbase is the real deal. The numbers are incredible, but I hate the timing. One of my biggest fears right now is that we have a growth stock glut. Just too many of these things, especially in tech. That whole cohort could get clobbered as investors lighten up their turbocharged growth holdings so they can raise money to get a piece of this one. Of course, I don't blame anyone for wanting a piece of Coinbase. Not at all. This company is the way to play all cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin. So you have all your bases covered. I'm very impressed by the people at Coinbase. Very good management. They seem to know what they're doing. However, the stock could be insanely volatile, and that's going to be a real issue, meaning it's not for everyone, and you got to be real disciplined about buying it at the right levels. So let me give you the pros and cons on this one. That way you can decide for yourself, which, of course, is what this show's about. The bull thesis here is pretty straightforward. First, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have made people fortunes, but many investors don't want to buy them directly, either because setting up a cryptocurrency wallet is a hassle, or because they don't like fractional shares in a volatile asset that trades at $63,000. Maybe you don't want to pick among maybe a dozen currencies. I mean, it's pretty confusing out there, even if you believe in the category as a whole. Whatever the reason, these investors would rather own a stock, especially mutual funds that can't own Bitcoin directly. So anything with even a tangential connection to cryptocurrency has given you some tremendous performance as Bitcoin has surged over the past 6 months in beautiful fashion. Think financial technology plays like Square and PayPal that let you buy and sell cryptocurrencies. Of course, those aren't pure plays, though. Once Coinbase starts trading, it instantly becomes the gold standard, a pure play crypto exchange that's publicly traded. The scarcity value is enormous and has tremendous security in a world where people worry about whether their cryptos are secure. It's a real vault. Second, Coinbase is the leading crypto exchange by far, with continually growing market share. They pioneered this entire industry. In many ways, they're a crypto kingmaker. And as Mel Brooks explained in History of the World Part 1, it's good to be the king. When Coinbase started operating in 2012, the total market capitalization of crypto assets was less than $500 million. Now that number is well above $800 billion, with a B. And as crypto grows, Coinbase grows, especially since the company makes the vast bulk of its money from commissions. At the end of 2012, the company had 13,000 users. Now they have, are you ready? 56 million users, up from 43 million just 3 months ago. I love that kind of growth. Hey, speaking of user growth, when Coinbase released its first quarter results last week, the numbers were stunning. Monthly transacting users came in at 6.1 million, up from 2.8 million last year. Coinbase has $223 billion worth of assets on platform, equivalent to more than 11% of the entire cryptocurrency market, up from $90 billion last year. Now, more important, quarterly trading volumes came in at $335 billion, which is 73% higher than their total trading volumes for 2020. Coinbase generated $1.8 billion in revenue, up a staggering 844% year over year. That's a monster acceleration from the previous quarter, where they had an incredible 495% growth rate. No wonder people keep floating a $100 billion valuation. How about earnings? Their net income for the first quarter was more than double their net income for the whole 2020. Of course, all this is tied to the massive rally in Bitcoin, which surged from around 4,000 at its lows last March to 10,000 at the end of September to 29,000 at the end of last year to 63,000 right now. That's one of the big negatives here. Coinbase is it's joined at the hip to the crypto market. And hey, I got to tell you, this Bitcoin has just been out of control. In fact, management gave 3 separate full-year forecasts, a bull case, a base case, and a bear case, depending on cryptocurrency prices. In the bull case, they expect 7 million monthly transacting users. The key metric here, in the base case, which assumes flat crypto growth and low to moderate volatility, they're expecting 5.5 million monthly transacting users, down substantially from the roaring first quarter. Oh boy, and in the bear case, well, that's a crypto meltdown, in which case Coinbase sees 400 million monthly transacting users. Long term, though, I expect the cryptocurrency economy to keep growing and growing. I think Bitcoin alone could eventually get to a $3 trillion market capitalization, which would be fabulous for Coinbase. Crypto advocates love to make bold proclamations about how Bitcoin will revolutionize commerce or free us from the tyranny of fiat currency. To which I say, who cares? What matters to me is that there's a tremendous appetite for this new asset class, and it's not going away. You don't have to be a believer in crypto. The concept to believe in is crypto, the investment. And if you want to play it, Coinbase has a lot going for it. Granted, there are some potential pitfalls pitfalls, too. New competition, questionable long-term profitability, the very possibility of real regulations coming in. Hey, tax concerns, you understand. All that said, I would absolutely be a buyer at the right price. So what's the right price? Well, tonight, NASDAQ set the reference price of $250, which was a bit of a surprise given that it trades privately, and lately the private price has been closer to $350. But I wouldn't pay too much attention to that reference price because the actual opening will be determined by supply and demand. Probably won't come until late morning or early afternoon. It'll probably substantially be above that if the history of these kinds of stocks is any indication. And it will be. So far, we've also gotten price targets from two different analysts. A month ago, Gil Luria at D.A. Davidson initiated coverage with a 195 target, although that was before we knew about the amazing first quarter results. Then, far more important, just this morning, the incredible Lisa Ellis at MoffettNathanson pounded the table with a buy rating, and get this, a $600 price target. Ellis argues that you have to value Coinbase like the other ultra-fast growing fintechs and software stocks, meaning it deserves to sell for 18 times her 2023 sales forecast. She loves the scarcity value, but acknowledges that Coinbase's core business is incredibly volatile. Let me read you a snippet because she makes a great point. Quote, investing in Coinbase is not for the faint of heart, and as the business and the stock will likely see dramatic, potentially protracted swings, we primarily recommend this stock for investors with a multi-year time horizon who have the fortitude to weather ups and downs, end quote. I couldn't agree with her more. I don't like to bet against her either. It's been a fool's errand to bet against her. So Coinbase lets you play all the cryptocurrencies. It's going to have a tremendous scarcity value, but riding this one is going to be like a bucking bronco without a saddle. A real rodeo. My fear is that there will be so much initial demand, the stock will soar to a ridiculous level right from the get-go. And then, because there's no lockup on insider selling, you can see a tidal wave of profit-taking that triggers a massive sell-off, similar to the Slack direct listing a couple of years ago. But that could create a fabulous buying opportunity as long as you're prepared to accumulate this one gradually. Now, I'd love it if you can get Coinbase in the low 300s, around 10 times sales. That seems unlikely. If you're willing to pay 15 times sales, not unreasonable, then this is a $475 stock. That's the upper end of what I'd be willing to pay for a large position. Still, you've got my blessing to put on a decent position at the opening, maybe half of what you'd normally purchase in one go, and then buy more, but only if it comes in. The bottom line, if you, like me, well, then you're a big believer in cryptocurrency, and you will want to own Coinbase for the long haul. Fortunately, by their own admission, this should be a ridiculously volatile stock. So if you're patient, you could eventually be able to get in at a good price. I say buy some tomorrow, ideally at less than $475, but I accept that some has to be bought. And then wait to buy more on weakness. And get ready for the bumpiest ride of your financial life. A ride I expect to be lucrative over the long haul.